Welcome to a review of the Bulldog Brewer beer making machine. Now this is available from bulldogbrewers.co.uk and essentially it's an all-in-one machine. It claims to be able to do mashing, lautering, sparging, boiling and cooling as well, all contained in this unit. So, what are the key features? Well, we've got superior quality 304 grade stainless steel construction. We have a 2.5 kilowatt heating elements, and the power can be adjusted via the display there. Brushless circulation pump for recirculating the wort. A bazooka filter and a stainless steel ball valve outlet as well. So there's lots of other features, but those are the main ones really for us. And certainly, to start off with, very intuitive to use. Control panel is a delight to use. Nice and colourful, it's always nice to see a very interactive control panel. And on there you can set various things like the heating elements. You can also adjust the obviously the temperature you want it to be set at. We're going for 66 degrees for our mash temperature today. And also you can set a timer on it as well for the amount of time you want the boiler to hold that temperature. So for us it's going to be 90 minutes for the mash stage. Right, so as I say, we're coming up to mash temperature. We'll rejoin you when we're going to add the grains into the boiler itself. Right, welcome back. So we're at stage now where we're ready to add our grains into the mash tun in the middle there. Notice we put a little cap there, safety cap over the top of the malt pipe there. We don't want any of the grains going down into the bottom there, so that can be removed after we've added all the grains. So today's kit is a Citra recipe pack from brewuk.co.uk, and we've got 3 kilograms of Maris Otter, and the second bag also has 1.3 kilograms of Maris Otter with 300 grams Munich malt and 125 grams of Cara malt. So we're going to start pouring those in. Now I'm going to stop periodically as we do this because we want to make sure that we're giving it a good stir as well. Don't want any dough balls, as they call them, forming in our mash tun here. So this will take a little bit of time. Once we get those in, and lovely smells coming through there, fantastic. Then we'll rejoin you, I think, when we're at the stage where we're ready to start recirculating. So we'll see. Just in case you're wondering what a dough ball looks like, this is a smaller version. We've just crushed up several of these. We just push it against the side of the mash tun there, and make sure it's nicely broken up there. You don't want those because it's much harder for the wort to recirculate through and extract all those sugars, so you really want to try and break those down. Right, so we've added all the grain now, and that's soaking in nicely. So now we're at a stage where we can take out the stopper from the middle of the malt pipe there, and we want to add our perforated sparging plate. Now, when we add this, we don't want to push it down too firmly. We want it to just sit on the grain bed nicely there for the wort to recirculate over. You can see it's got a useful handle there as well. That's always a bonus. So if we can push that down, just until the water, I guess, starts coming through the top there, that is fine. Now there is also a mesh at the bottom of the mash tun as well, so obviously that's hopefully going to help to filter out some of the unwanted bits for when we come to the boiling stage. Okay, so we're going to connect up the pump now and then rejoin you when we're ready to start recirculating the wort. Okay, so we're at the stage now where we've got the pump connected up. It has its own separate power supply there, as you can see, and it clips on via 2 Jubilee clips there onto the base of the tap. The tap itself you can also use as a regulator to regulate the strength of the flow there coming through. So we'll try it about that and see how much is flowing through when we turn it on. So that then flows through the silicon tubing up through into the hole which is at the top of the lid there. So that keeps that quite nice and securely inside. And our mashing process is going to last for about 90 minutes in total, so we can recirculate on and off during that time. So let's give it a go. We'll turn it on. And we can hear the pump is now kicking in, and indeed I believe the wort is flowing. Let's just check that if we can. Yes, we do have a good flow, so that's probably quite vigorous actually. We can turn the tap down a little bit there to regulate, so we'll do that now, see how that comes out. A little bit better hopefully. Yeah, it's a little bit steadier, so we'll just keep an eye on that just to make sure it's going smoothly. Right, okay, so we're going to rejoin you at the end of the mash stage when we're ready to begin lautering and then sparging as well. Welcome back. So now we're at a stage where we've lifted up the mash tun, as you can see there, and we are lautering and sparging. We've done that bit. So yeah, we're sparging with 77 degrees Celsius water up to 26 litres. That's how much wort we're going to collect in the boiler. And then we're going to obviously boil that and add the hops, and that's probably where we're going to rejoin the review. And just one thing to point out, we've got this, we've got 2 steps here for lifting up the mash tun. That's quite nice. You don't necessarily want to break your back doing it all in one go, so that was quite a nice feature to do that bit by bit. Other than that, it's been very smooth journey to this stage so far, and as I say, we'll probably rejoin it when we're going to add our Citra hops at the start. We've reached the boiling stage, and that was actually pretty quick to get up to temperature. I guess that's from the 2.5 kilowatt heaters doing their job very efficiently there, so that's great. We've got the rolling boil on, so our first hops go in. This is the 20 grams of Citra inside the hop bag. In they go. Little poke down there as well, just to make sure they soak in nicely. So the boil stage will last around about 70 minutes, as we said earlier, and at the end of that we're going to add the balance of hops. That's the remainder of the Citra hops and some Simcoe hops as well, I believe, at the end. So we'll probably, we won't obviously film this entire process, it'll take a very long time, but we'll join you again when we're at the stage we're ready to crash cool with the included wort chiller. Okay, so we're at the end of the boiling stage now. We've added the wort chiller to sterilise it early on there, and we have also added the final hop balance. So we're ready to go and turn on the hose pipe now to get that wort chilling right the way down to 18 degrees C, at which point we're going to be ready to pitch the yeast. We'll rejoin it. Right, welcome back. So as you can see, we're at the stage now where we're ready to transfer to the fermentation bucket. We were caught out a little bit by the temperature on this. The gauge was showing that it was around 38, and having felt the side of the container, it felt a lot cooler. So I put a traditional thermometer inside, and it was reading at about 20. So that caused us a little bit of panic there. But I'm not sure why it was reading false there. It could be because the water was quite close at the bottom to the heating elements, and it was maintaining a bit of a false reading there. So just want to be aware of, really. So we're now pitching it. As you can see, though, the bazooka is getting a little bit clogged. So we're going to have to keep that stirred to keep the flow going through there. The bazooka is the bit that filters out some of the residue that you don't want to go into the fermentation bucket. So I've sterilised the paddle, and if we scrape away at the bazooka, it does improve the flow rate a little bit there. But that's just worth keeping an eye on as well as you're getting ready to pitch your yeast. So we're going to rejoin it when it's in the bucket completely and we have pitched our yeast. Okay, so as you can see, we're at the stage now where we've put the worts through, and we've got the yeast in the bucket as well. So slightly above pitching temperature, we're going for 18 degrees. It's actually about 20, but I think on a hot day like today, it's going to be hard to get any lower. But overall, findings of using the Bulldog Brewer have been very favourable. The whole interactive control panel was very intuitive to use, and didn't take long to set up at all. We could rely on the countdown clock as well, which was nice to give us an indication of how long was left for each stage. That was really good. It reached maximum boiling temperature pretty quickly as well. We were quite impressed with that compared to some other machines we've tried out before. The build quality was fantastic. Everything worked as it should have done, fitted together nicely. Give us that sort of sense of confidence in the machine that hopefully it's going to last for many more brews to come. The cleanup operation itself afterwards was pretty good as well, and as you know, for some homebrew machines that's not the case, but it certainly was for the Bulldog Brewer. So those all impressed us a lot. That was really good. A couple of minor points that are worth thinking about perhaps. Firstly, the power lead could have been a little bit longer just to give us a bit more flexibility about where to place it in the kitchen. We thought that perhaps the lid could have been transparent. That's always nice to see what's going on, and obviously we don't keep the lid on while we're going through the boil process, but it was useful to see when things are approaching different temperatures. So I guess just nice to be able to see what's happening there. The temperature probe itself didn't give a hugely accurate reading, I think, and that was a bit of a surprise because for the other units we have used, that has been the case. I think, in fairness, this was just during the crash cooling phase where it gave us a slightly higher reading than actually the temperature that the wort was at. So just worth keeping an eye on. Maybe have a second temperature probe you can dip inside and check how things are going. Other than that, just a very, as I say, very easy to use and to get on with, and I think that's something you have to build up a trust with homebrew machines, and this is certainly one example of a machine in which we do have trust in. So hopefully you'll check them out too, and let us know your findings on using the Bulldog Brewer. But thank you very much for watching.